this out, guys. Check it out. HRG engineering sent us a lift kit, and we lifted the CRV. We're gonna show you how it's done and everything right now. Let's go. Yeah, baby, check it out. Off-road CRV.
Yep, we didn't get to film it exactly. We didn't get to film it like exactly how we wanted to because there was a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to show you guys step by step, you know, the stuff going on.
Wow. Is it?
So to start off this lift, I want to show you guys the engine bay. And I said before, kind of like, I wanted to film this a different way, but under circumstances and some things happen, I'm just going to say it at the beginning that it didn't get filmed the way we wanted it to get filmed. But I'm going to go over all the pieces right now with you guys. Straight off the bat, we're going to start right here. As you can see, this is a B20. Everything's pretty much stock besides this filter, and the engine's very far down. Here's your reasoning. When you lift the car, the axles have they get a pretty aggressive angle. Yep, and they can break, or they'll break easily. They'll crack the ends of them and stuff like that. So what they do in this lift kit is you actually drop the motor down. So the whole motor's dropped 3 inches. So we're going to start with that right here. And you have to excuse this very bad bolt because we have a bad transmission, and we're going to put a new transmission in this car soon, and you guys are going to see that. But basically, the motor mount is in the OEM location, and what they send you is new bolts, and they send you these 3-inch spacers right here. So you can see down here a 3-inch spacer and the 2 motor mount bolts, factory motor mount bolts. Everything's still in the factory location. You're just getting new bolts and new spacers. Then you come to this side and same situation. New bolts, new spacer, 3-inch drop down on both sides.
There it is right there, that green.
Yep, the green, everything you guys see in that army green color is the powder coated color for the lift kit. So you're going to see that in the rest of the video, but that's just to start off for the engine bay. So we're going to start in the front here, and I'm going to try to describe this in the best way that if somebody wanted to watch this video and do it without me physically doing the work, they can, because I really wanted to get it while I was doing the work, but like I said, I couldn't get that. So we're gonna start here. Actually, I'm gonna skip this part. We're gonna start on the subframe. So as I showed you at the top, these mounts came off. So as simple as unbolting 2 bolts,
right,
and then you got the 3-inch spacer, because when the 3-inch comes down from the top, you got to put the 3-inch spacer here. So 2 bolt, 3-inch spacer. Then you come across to this side, same thing, 2 bolts, 3-inch spacer. And these are torque mounts, so you can replace them. Mine aren't even in good shape, they're just sitting there, but you can replace them, do what you want. But that's how the 2 come for the 3-inch drop with supplied bolts. Everything here comes with the supplied bolts. I'm gonna probably keep saying all right, so I'm gonna come over here to the subframe now, and I'm gonna say it again, but everything else 3 inches, 3 inches. So when you drop the motor down, the subframe needs to come down, and the reasoning is for these axles right here. You see this angle? You don't want this angle. It's up on the lift right now, so that's why it's pushed all the way down. But you have 3-inch subframe spacer here. They call this the shotgun spacer. That's what they call it. 2 provided bolts right here. You're going to remove yours and then put the spacer in. Front subframe spacer as well. 3-inch provided bolt right here. You remove your bolt, you put the spacer in, put their longer bolt in. Then you come back here, same thing, spacer, provided bolt, and you would remove your current bolt, and we don't use that anymore. Same thing, you'd mirror this side. You got the shotgun spacer, regular spacer, and regular spacer up here. Now that will drop the entire rear of the subframe of the vehicle. So when you drop the subframe, the motor mount is going to be already dropped because you dropped it from the front, as I showed you earlier. So this motor mount is going to be in the factory location, because since this is down 3 inches, and the front is down 3 inches, this is down in its factory location as well. What you do have to do, which they provide you with, you might have to squeeze the camera in here, is they also drop the steering shaft down 3 inches. So they provide you with a 3-inch extended steering shaft, which you see right here.
Yeah, I see it.
And when you drop everything down, that has to be lengthened in order to fit and hit the steering. Now, another thing that is really cool about this kit, everything that you hear about me saying it's dropping down 3 inches, people are going to be like, oh, well, do I have to move anything? You don't have to move a single thing. Some people may, I was told that they might have to squeeze around some things, like their radiator hoses might need to be loosened and twisted. I didn't have to move anything personally. All the lines fit, all the shifter cable brackets, I didn't unbolt anything. I only unbolted what I needed to unbolt to put the physical spacers in. So your wiring coming down, your coolant lines, your power steering hoses, anything like that, this shifter cable bracket, everything just kind of has enough slack to just go down 3 inches and then put right in, which is really cool that we didn't have to go ahead and modify all of that stuff like crazy. Now we're gonna come over here to the knuckle. So the knuckle is lengthened actually, I don't know the exact length. I want to say it's 3 inches. It might not be. Don't quote me on that. But the knuckle is lengthened. So when this gets dropped down, this knuckle has to actually be longer. So this knuckle is supplied, and it is supplied bare. So you have to press in your own lower ball joints and your own wheel bearings, which is great because I just wanted to put the new stuff on. These trucks or little SUVs tend to have a lot of kind of, you know, bad parts in the front, you know, from them being so old anyway. So it's kind of good that you kind of put all those new parts in the front. Now, what I will replace in the future is this is still a factory spring. Now you can see at top of the factory spring, or maybe we can show it up there for you. That is the spacer that actually lifts the spring from the top. So after everything is lowered, the spring is going to push your suspension down, and when it is nice on the ground, you have that nice axle angle like it is basically factory, except the truck is physically lifted higher off the ground, which is really, really cool. So that pretty much sums up the front end of the truck, and then we're going to get to the back next. Here in the back now, rear trailing arm, back suspension, stuff like that, rear diff. This is actually a front wheel drive model that later is going to be converted to all wheels. So no drive shaft right now, but all of the exact same concept of a front or all wheel drive CRV. So we'll start over here on the trailing arm. Just like the front, the back is dropped as well. 3 inches, supplied bolts right here and right here for your rear trailing arm bushing. When you drop the rear trailing arm bushing, you're going to come back here and you're also going to drop this toe bracket. So they give you this provided toe bracket with all necessary hardware, and then you can see over here you got the S1 toe kit installed, which is also available you know, through us as well. But you got this S1 toe kit on here, which fits on all of the first generation CRVs, which is pretty cool. When you come down here towards the back of the trailing arm, you'll see that when everything's dropped down, also bracket for the camber kit, and you'll see how the camber kit, when it drops down, it moves forward, so they had to move it back to its OEM location. And then what you see up here, camber kit, S1Built camber kit, fits in there nicely.
Yep, nice.
Yep, S1Built camber kit. Then we go across down to, up to the spring portion, and that's what pushes the physical, you know, suspension down. And at a later point, we're going to replace these. Really quick, when you get to these brackets, they're pretty simple install. It involves one hole to drill. You actually had to drill this hole. It supports this bracket, so factory hole this way, one small drill hole right here. Put this bracket on. They supply all the rest of the bolts that would put, just like putting a normal camber kit on the car. You tighten it right here, tighten here, nice and sturdy bracket. And then we're gonna go to the subframe and the diff. So everything I said on this side, obviously for the trailing arm, could get mirrored to the opposite side. Same concept. Rear trailing arm bushing, toe kit, camber kit, and spring all have spacers. Okay, so now when we come down to the subframe, pretty simple. This subframe is kind of small. This is actually a diff mount. This portion is actually for the diff mount, so those guys that are front wheel drive actually wouldn't even have to worry about this portion. But we're gonna talk about what we see here. So rear diff mount is spaced down as well, provided bolts, so you would remove your bolt, put the spacer in, put your bolts up just how you would on the rest of the kit. And over here, when you come to the front, they actually space it in 2 spaces. As you can see, those are a little bit smaller, so they put some spacers at the top, and then they also take some spacers and put them at the top of the diff, so it's spaced a little bit from the part holding the diff and bolted into the diff itself. And like I said, just in the front, all of your factory stuff still fits fine. Your brake lines kind of fit fine. They need to be unbolted and moved into a different location, which is actually what I'm going to do a little bit today. Like as you can see, the brake lines are not attached, so I'm going to put a bolt through in the directions. It describes all of this very clearly. The directions are very well in the HRG kit, which I like a lot, because this is honestly our first time doing this stuff as well. It's not like we lifting CRVs ever, so it was our first time. You know, I want to say it took me a good 8 hours. All in all, was very straightforward, just, you know, a good amount of work. You know, it would take you a nice Saturday to do something like this. And but I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited for the future of the car, where it's going to take us. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for the turbo kit and stuff like that. I know people are going to ask me, you know, what type of tires, what type of this and that we put. So we found these on, you know, Marketplace. I know all you guys are on Marketplace, come on. You know, 31 by 10.5 by 15. The offset is actually like a -30. These are from a Jeep, so they stick out a lot. I don't know if we're gonna keep it that way, but for now, it's okay. I did have to do a little trimming. Now, HRG does say in this description that tire usage is kind of up to you. They recommend using 30 size tire. I went bigger because, you know, who listens to directions sometimes, right? but it's fun, you know, mild cutting, as you guys can see here. At the top a little bit, just very mild cutting just to clear the 31s. But all in all, if you didn't have the tires on the car and you still had factory tires, this thing drove just like it was lifted from factory. All-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time. S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time. We'll have you gripping, don't get caught slipping. S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time.
Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping.
S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time.
Them wheels are always gripping.
Don't get caught slipping. You get behind the wheel, build it your Honda.
HRG, don't forget to check them out. Like, subscribe, S1Built, HRG. If you need your CRV raised up, we can do that too. Give us a call.
Got them cars killing speeds and just sound like artillery. It's all will and deed, almost like a war machine, like it's meant for the infantry, Air Force, Navy, Army, and Marines. Now they clock triple-digit speeds, and they got them on the bases. Must be all the innovation. Watch them racing information. Got the gauges twitching crazy, switching up the pace, shifting in a Civic or an S2K. This is not your daily S1, all wheels gripping pavement. S1, you gon' want a test run. All-wheel drive in the lane in the left one. S1, you gon' want a test run. All-wheel drive in the lane in the left one. S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time. S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time. We'll have you gripping, don't get caught slipping. S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time.
Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping.
S1, all-wheel drive, got the mind that's killing time.
Them wheels are always gripping,
don't get caught slipping. Even on the straights, yeah, warming up that A6. In Florida got the street cred, rolling down the street quick. Got that MSD switch, B-Series or a ZC, and that LSV tech, hella clean, yeah. Tell them where to meet at, yeah, we go to Mexico, racing for the pink slips. ropes and ain't no 12 to catch us, so K-swap the world till we spin the globe. K20, MR2, and SX, CRX with the K24. Reppin' that EF, go back to the days of the HF, DX, the EX, before them green underglows. If you ain't see it, you must be running slow. Say you in something we can't afford, but we got that camcorder that's
S1 all-wheel drive, got them Honda skeletons.
All-wheel gripping, 4-4, gripping.
S1 all-wheel drive, got them Honda skeletons.
we'll have you gripping, don't get caught slipping.
S1 all-wheel drive, got them Honda skeletons.
Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping.
S1 all-wheel drive, got them Honda skeletons.
Them wheels are always
We'll have you
gripping.
gripping, don't get caught slipping.